Peace and Islam. Welcome unto the Amexem-Moor-Empire, Department for Communications, Moore's Internet, Televideo-Network, or M.I.T.N for short, which is a part of the Imperial Broadcasting Agency. For the record, today's date on the Amexem-Moor calendar is Peace Day, the 11th of Kumal in the year 301-630. I am the Noble, Tinawad Il, and I serve as the lead video broadcast agent, and I shall be your hostess for this broadcast segment. We are returning with segment 13 of the Amexem-Moor-Empire perspective. This is entitled Skyrocketing Gold Prices. So with that, we welcome back to our segment, His Imperial Majesty and an Inuil Bey. Peace and Islam.
Peace and Islam, Tina. Thank you for having me.
So we're continuing on from previous segment, which was segment 11, regarding mismanagement of funds all across the earth, and continuing on to the skyrocketing gold prices and how those correlate and how it affects us as nationals of the Amexem-Moor-Empire. Islam.
All right. Well, to give folks proper perspective, the quote-unquote gold price, as some refer to it, is tied back to stability or instability in various what they call quote-unquote economies. We don't use the word economy. We used to for several years. You hear me speak to the issue of socioeconomic infrastructure. I started saying that years ago, because we learned, literally speaking, that the word economy or economics rather actually literally means the study of lack. It basically means to lack. We're not in the business of lacking. So we don't engage in the economy scenario. We engage in the commerce and trade scenario now. As a result, if you have multiple jurisdictions engaging in commerce and trade and you have instability or stability in them, you're going to see that determined how they deal with gold for the purpose of exchange of product by way of the settling of a medium of exchange for what's called making fair exchanges. The phrase is called fair exchanges, no robbery. So giving like for like. That's the only way you can actually convey title as opposed to mere use of. Consequently, the intrinsic value of gold that we're discussing right now has changed dramatically in 25 plus Earth years in terms of the worthless pieces of paper that some refer to as sometimes euro, sometimes gold, or rather sometimes quote unquote dollar or so-called peso or baht or bolivar or dinar or dirham or any other quote-unquote currency across the planet, rupee and things of this nature, yen, won, yuan, ruble, so on and so forth. They're just pieces of paper not backed by anything. And so folks play paper games. The real medium of exchange is platinum, gold, or silver within the Amexem-Moor-Empire. That's constitutionally required. We don't play that game of what some call banking and fractional reserve banking and credit. All three of those, banking, fractional reserve banking, and credit, are all unconstitutional within the Amexem-Moor-Empire. We don't play any of those games. Debt scenarios and debt games, not doing that here. The ability to engage in more the production of artificial inflation to control populations, we're not doing that here. We trade in substance, not electronic, as they say in terms of quote unquote digital currencies, quote unquote cryptos, basically backed by nothing. Oh, they make tokens now. Tokens are not money. Currency and money are not the same. And folks get that part twisted. Currency, by technical definition, can be money as authorized by law. The thing is, virtually all quote unquote currencies are not authorized by law because they couldn't be. They're just claim checks. claim checks for some type of substance, platinum, gold, or silver, or in some cases, rarely, even copper. Consequently, money is one thing, currency is another. Crypto is just a digital version of that. So you have paper, which is pointless, and something that's hackable and requires electrical power to be used and does not convey title. And they have most of our kith and kindred across the planet chasing worthless paper and chasing hackable, EMP susceptible computer code for blockchain. Platinum, gold, and silver. Well, I don't want to walk around with platinum, gold, and silver in my pocket. You don't have to. We have the Imperial Depository System. We have platinum, gold, and silver on deposit in your account. You may transact with us anywhere across the planet. That's how we make that work. Even interjurisdictional transactions are available through the Imperial Depository System. The basis of your question, though, is the quote-unquote price of gold. I remember when gold was $255 an ounce. It's now 3,100 and change pieces of paper for an ounce of gold. So what happened? Instability has been climbing. Silver used to be 7 for an ounce, 7 pieces of paper. Now it's 35 worth of pieces of paper for an ounce of gold. I mean, of silver. Silver is tied to inflation, or it used to be. It's basically decoupled now. And gold is to stability or the lack thereof. And if everything across the planet is spiraling out of control, you got consumption down, but you also have population that's decreasing in certain places, increasing in others, or stabilizing in others. How parties choose to use resources is problematic because they're being inefficient on purpose. And they mold the mindsets of the masses to flow in one particular direction while the mega rich get richer. And the gold price, as it's set on a daily basis, well, it's going up, 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 and up. Now, the buying power of that gold, well, that's a whole nother story entirely. And we have to monitor what's happening across the planet around the clock because of how things impact the platinum, gold, and silver price. That impacts the buying power of what we can and cannot acquire with the funds that we collect from business taxes, from contributions to the Imperial Treasury to fund our work. So we look at the silver price or gold price to determine what we're going to buy based on what we can afford at that particular time. Now, when the gold price goes up, that is technically deflationary for us. When the gold price goes down, that's actually inflationary for us. What if we needed, at the current price, what if we needed to buy something that used to cost us 1 ounce of gold? Well, when gold was 900 an ounce or 1,000 an ounce, well, and we got 1 ounce of gold back then we got one particular unit. Now, we can get more than 1 unit. We can get 3 units. And there's some left over. So again, when the gold price goes up, it's deflationary for us. When the gold price goes down, it's inflationary. Same thing with us when it comes to silver. When silver goes down, it's inflationary for us. When silver goes up, it's deflationary for us. Right now, silver is climbing through the roof. The sweet spot is about 25 worth of pieces of paper or claim checks for an ounce. Once it crosses over 30, it gets to be a little bit of a inconvenience. If the silver quote unquote price gets to and crosses 43 an ounce, we're going to have to adjust. We have done that before. We will lower the silver intake down a little bit to make it easier for the nationals that make the monthly contribution to the Imperial Treasury. Now, to that end, 15 Earth years ago, monthly contributions were 5 ounces silver for the month, because the quote-unquote silver price at the time was significantly lower than it is now. Now, as the silver price went up, we decreased the amount of silver we collected. So that's the opposite of what I just explained just now. The higher it goes, we decrease the amount of silver that's collected. The lower it goes, we increase the amount of silver that's collected. That's how we deal with inflation within the Amexem-Moor-Empire. It's a scale. So that's the best way to answer your question as you asked it. I do know that parties say, well, you talk about your fiscal budget all the time, and you can transform lives on both sides of the ocean. And you say you would stretch it because of the exchange rates, particularly between gold and everything else, and silver. Yes. Well, I know the question does get asked from time to time. Well, your monthly contributions and your business tax collection at the moment does not fully fund your fiscal budget loss. Technically true, and that's fair. Our kith and kindred across the planet have a vested interest in making sure that we fully fund our fiscal budget loss. And folks, I tell them, you can't tell me it can't be done. What do you mean? Our current fiscal budget law that just took effect 11 Earth days ago is $3,186,000,000 in gold, so-called US in gold. That requires 31,860,000 of our folks to put up 100 so-called US in silver each to fully fund it. Our population in North Amexem is pushing towards 50 million, pushing towards 80 million in Ray Bahia alone in South Amexem. Other places in Central Amexem, the Atlantis Islands, the Albion District, the Mero District, the Cebu Cavite District, 1.5 billion of us on the mother continent of the Kibble-Naniyev Zoo. You don't tell me we can't find 31,860,000 folks to put 100 and silver each to fully fund our fiscal budget law. The priorities of our folks are skewed, but don't tell me we can't raise it. And let's not even forget, parties literally smuggled 230 metric tons of gold out of the Kibble-Naniyev Zoo. That's 30 billion in gold. That's way more than the $3,186,000,000 in gold that we have to raise for our current fiscal budget law right now. So if you can turn your backs because you got to cut, somebody put some funds in your hand, bought you off, because you control the guns and the ports. If you can allow 230 metric tons to be smuggled out of the mother continent, then you can provide us with the 230 metric tons of gold, and watch what we do to transform the lives of our kith and kindred in North, Central, South Amexem, our Kibble-Naniyev Zoo, Kusharapa, and the Cebu Cavite District, Albion, and Mero District. Taking the boot of the colonizing hostiles off our family's throat in the process. And this is why parties work so hard. I think you discussed with me before, the elephant in the room. They want to see our folks separated. And we work very hard to make sure we're not separated. I don't care what continent you were made manifest on. I don't care what language you speak. I don't care what your faith is or isn't. I don't care if you pray or don't pray. I don't care if you pray to a rock, a potato chip, or a can, or to a screwdriver. I don't care what you pray to or don't pray to. The melanated heterosexuals are welcome within the Amexem-Moor-Empire. Under the Amexem-Moor-Empire imperial flag, we will train every last one of them to participate properly within the domains of the realm of the Amexem-Moor-Empire constitutional monarchy, with the inclusion of the Amexem-Moor-Empire global common market. And the gold price and the silver price all across the planet, the platinum price all across the planet, we will raise those funds amongst ourselves and fund our fiscal budget laws. But Mother Continent has all the resources. You can smuggle out that much in gold. You can break us off a few metric tons of gold and watch what we do to flip the script and give our folks a leg up, independent of the colonizing hostiles and their melanated puppets. That's the best way I know how to answer your question as you asked it, Noble Tina. Do you have a follow-on question for me at this point?
Islam. Yes. So for those of our kins and kindreds, whether they are national, Amexem-Moor-Empire nationals or not, that do want to help and contribute into the work that we are collectively doing, where and how can they reach out to the Amexem or within the Amexem-Moor-Empire to help out or contribute? Islam.
All right. Well, the foreign exchange agent that can receive funds and convert it into substance to place into pure treasury to fund our fiscal budget law. That information is available by way of the website, modernmoormonarchy.squarespace.com. You can get in contact with us that way and ask for the foreign exchange agent information to make said contribution. We ask folks to do two things. One, let us know what they're sending so we can figure out what we're going to do with it. If they have a particular thing they saw in the fiscal budget law that they'd like to help us to fund, they can specify that, and they can say, I'd like to help. I know you want to get your first vessels in the water. Right now, to put a fishing boat in the water from the Kenyatta district, we know we need to raise roughly about 14, I'm going to say 16,000 in gold because of inflation at this point. So let's say folks wanted to help us to raise I'll say 5 ounces of gold, which will be a little more than that. Let's say when someone said, we want to help you to raise 5 ounces of gold to fund getting the fishing boat in the water in the Kenyatta district. They can make that arrangement to get that to us, and we will show the evidence of the acquisition. And they have two choices. They can either say that they made it anonymously, or we can say that it was help funded by whoever. And parties can make contributions on behalf of someone else anonymously as well. So there are those who want to do that privately, quietly. Great, we will keep that anonymous. And we have that first fishing vessel in the water. The fishing vessel now can go out and help to feed our folks. It actually will provide trade to those that need to be aboard that vessel to earn a trade to feed their families with. It also helps us to get our sea legs about us. So when we start constructing more vessels and acquiring more vessels, we'll use our experiences to become more effective, more efficient in our ability to sail the seas and engage in fishing, commerce, and trade. So that's the best way for me to do that. Now, I know that because of the challenge that is going on, I might not be able to add the information for the foreign exchange agent into the description. However, it can be added into the comment section on each particular segment that's already been uploaded, including whatever's about to be done with these. So I think you mentioned that they were not before, we'll have to attend to that. So the comment section of each one of the videos in this particular series, we have to begin to add the information in so folks can read the comments and see where to make said contribution so we can save lives and improve the quality of lives. Some may say, listen, I see that you're looking to bring over more anti-malaria formula. We don't have tariffs on things. However, tariffs do impact us directly and indirectly. The cost of the herbs that we acquire are going up sky high because of tariffs and things of this nature. So when we make our anti-malaria formula, it's various herbal formulas that we produce, anti-malaria formula being one of them. We don't get rid of malaria in the course of a month or two for Malarone or Larium. No, those are synthetics in there. They basically attack the liver. No, we don't do that. We just all herbal combination, and it knocks out the malaria in between 3 and 5 days, depending on the height, weight, and muscle mass, or fat to muscle ratio of the living soul that's consuming what we provide to get rid of the malaria. Since most of our kith and kindred are tied back to the United Nations, the WHO portion of the United Nations will not allow their health ministries to engage in that. They want to use the chemicals and the drugs from the pharmaceuticals. In other words, chemical warfare on our folks and biological warfare on our folks. And we're saying enough of that. We're here to shut that stuff down. Some may say we want to make a contribution towards your abilities to do that. We're happy to do that because 41% of the population on this planet that looks like you and I, they all across the equator and the Tropic of Cancer across the planet, whether they speak Tagalog or Marathi, or if they speak Kiswahili or Sango or Wolof or Serer, they are subject to the threat of malaria. And we're here to shut that nonsense down. Some of our folks speak Spanish or from Las Bunas speaking Portuguese. We're here to shut that nonsense down, and we can shut it all down on our own terms as we fund it. So that's the best way I know how to respond to what you said, and I'm gonna leave it there. Islam.
Islam. And thank you, Your Imperial Majesty, on behalf of the Moors Internet Televideo Network, our wonderful audience, and myself. So with that, we say thank you for your service, and until next time. Islam.
Islam.
Islam. And to our audience, for more information, contact is available through the website that we influenced, as mentioned earlier. That website is modernmonarchy.squarespace.com. So all information about the Amexem-Moor-Empire, imperial government operations, down to the local level is available on that website. We thank you for your time, and we are encouraging you to share the link for this segment with all you associate with. And with that, until next time, on behalf of His Imperial Majesty, all of our fellow Amexem-Moor-Empire nationals across the globe, we say peace, great health, and prosperity upon all of you and upon all of us. And until next time, peace and Islam.